Okay, we are going to continue our discussion of industrialization. We're going to kind of get in today to what the problems in the cities were and what immigrants coming to America during this time, some of the things that they were facing. So during industrialization, we've talked about all of the big business and all of the problems, the new government systems, new economies, new things that have come out of this rise in industrialism. But now I want us to really look at what some of the problems in the cities and what the people were facing during the time. There was a big um, movement of people from the rural areas of the country to the cities during this time because they were getting jobs in factories, they were getting more industrial jobs, and this is known as urbanization. Some of the causes of this: farm equipment, less people are needed out on farms because of the new inventions, the new technology that have come up on the farms. There's going to be more job opportunities in the cities, cultural opportunities, lots of immigrants coming into these cities. People are going to move to where they have family or they know people. So the cities are going to grow immensely during this time, prompting that urbanization. This is going to lead to problems in the cities because the cities are not going to have the facilities and they're not going to have the some of the laws in place to deal with the people moving in so quickly. So you're going to start to see lots of overcrowding, lots of people living in small spaces, um, inadequate public services, trash service, sanitation, water, things that are necessary to live. Those are not going to be up to standard because these cities are going to grow faster than these public services can keep up with. Transportation is going to become an issue because of more and more people going in the cities. They're going to need better transportation to get people from one place to the next. And of course, you're going to have social tension. You're going to have different immigrant groups, groups of people coming together. That's going to cause some social tension. Maybe people from different groups, um, they don't see eye to eye. People who are going to start having discrimination toward different groups of people. We're just going to start to see the rise of problems and tensions with these, as the cities get larger and people are moving into smaller areas. Some of these photos here are just good examples of what you might see walking through the cities. You can see these people are sleeping in these small confined spaces, often with no beds. A lot of the people coming into the cities, they're not being paid very much, so they're not going to have a lot of money. Lots of people living in small spaces here, people sleeping in the street with their trash out. So just lots of problems, social problems, public service problems, lots of overcrowding in the cities during this industrialization time. So one of the reasons why the cities are going to be getting so large would be because of immigrants, lots of immigration, people coming from Europe. And there are different reasons why people immigrate. There's push factors and pull factors. And the push factors are the things that are going to be pushing the people to move. And the pull factors is what's going to be pulling them to this place. So pushing them from their homes, pulling them to America. And some of the push factors that were pushing them out of their homes, often in Europe, would be oppression by the government, unfair governments, poverty. They don't have economic opportunities. They don't have jobs. In Ireland, they have the potato famine that's going to hurt. A lot of people are going to be starving. You're going to have ethnic war, civil wars happening in certain countries, and persecution, religious and ethnic persecution. A lot of members of the Jewish community sought refuge in the United States when they were being persecuted for their religious beliefs, and ethnic persecution, people who were being persecuted for being a member of a certain ethnicity. And so a lot of those different things are going to cause people to want to come to America where they have the opportunity of freedom and they have economic opportunity. They have opportunity to make money and have jobs in these factories that are really booming during this time. The pull factors, the reasons why they chose America, the things that pulled them to the United States is going to be freedom, the freedoms that we've enjoyed. People are going to want to start to take a part of that. economic opportunity, people getting jobs, people having ties to the factories, being able to get jobs in the factories, being able to find work in the city, and cultural ties. People are going to want to join people of their other cultural group. Maybe they already have family and friends and people that they know from their home country that have already settled in America. So they're going to come over to try and reunite with those people to have a better opportunity at better life. This is going to cause some problems, just like with the overcrowdings in the cities and people not having good living conditions. As more immigrants and more people are going to come in, there's going to start to be some tensions, social tensions, as well as tensions in the cities. Um, well, in 1880 to 1820, you're going to start to see a wave of new immigrants. Before then, the immigrants are going to be mainly from Germany, parts of Ireland, parts of England. But in 1880 to 1920, you're going to see a wave of immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe. So Italy, Russia, just different parts of the Eastern and Southern Europe. And that's going to be extremely different because unlike the old immigrants, these people are not going to be familiar with the English language. They are going to not be familiar with the customs. They're oftentimes maybe a different religion. With the exception of the Irish, the people that came over with the old immigrants predominantly were Protestant and Christian. A lot of the new immigrants are going to practice Catholicism, maybe even Judaism. They are going to come to America, usually through Ellis Island and New York, and they are going to settle in these ethnic ghettos, these small, very crowded tenement neighborhoods with people of their own race, people of their own ethnicity. And they're going to experience extreme hardships on their voyage over to America, oftentimes riding in steerage, which is the very bottom of the boat. Just extremely harsh conditions, very little food, very little sanitation. So this is going to kind of be difficult to assimilate. And we know what that word assimilate just means to adopt American culture for these new immigrants that start to come in. The children of the new immigrants are going to become Americanized. They are going to assimilate very quickly. They are going to enroll in American schools, meet American friends, start wearing the American clothing, learn English very quickly. So the young people, the children are going to assimilate into becoming Americans very quickly, whereas adults are going to find this very difficult to do, and that's going to cause social tensions with the people who have already settled. With the rise of immigration, this is going to cause a rise of nativism, and that is just a word that means that immigrants are inferior to people who are already born in America. So people are going to start to resent the immigrants because they are taking jobs, they are taking lower pay, they are willing to break strikes. So when the unions initiate a strike, the immigrants are going to be willing to come in and work, whereas the people who were there before are not. You're going to start to see different groups taking advantage of the immigrants, trying to help them become more economically stable. But on the other side, you're going to see lots of people who are going to be nativist, and they are going to want immigrants to stop coming to the United States. And you're going to see different pieces of legislation that's going to cause that to rise. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We've already talked about that, but I want to revisit it. This was a ban on Chinese immigration, especially in the West, because the influx of Chinese immigrants coming into San Francisco and California, they're going to take lots of railroad jobs and be willing to work for a lot less money. So this is going to be a ban on Chinese immigration, and it's going to place restrictions on the Chinese residents who are already in the United States. So this is just a political cartoon that's going to kind of depict nativism, and it's this immigrant trying to get off the boat, and people are stopping him. These Americans are stopping them, but even though it kind of shows in the background that their ancestry probably came from immigrants as well. But it's just this rise of nativism, this fear of the immigrants taking the jobs, fear of immigrants rising up economically, and it's going to kind of take hold during this time and last for quite some time. All right, be sure to answer the questions on Edmodo, and we will talk more about this when you get to class next time.